Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am so grateful that you're here with me today. And I thought I would talk to you about self-image. That was an idea I just had for a couple of minutes ago. And I said, great idea. Let's act on it. So self-image is so much more, I believe. In my opinion, there's more that you have to go through, and I want to share it. It may be that you don't have to go through so many layers that I had to go through, but it can be that you're on the same journey and you're kind of asking yourself, why isn't it happening yet? What's going on? What can I do? And you keep clicking on videos and you keep following different people and you're getting excited for a couple of days, maybe hours, maybe minutes. And then you're like, I'm just back at the same place. So I want to explain to you how I work with self-image and how I do it for myself. Because in the beginning, when I got into this industry, it was a lot like, put on different clothes, get up at 5 a.m. You will feel better because you will get into that role. And yes, it made you feel better, but you still didn't recognize and design the person that you wanted to be. And when I say design that person you want to be, you have already seen glimpses. You felt it like who you wanted to be, but you haven't really believed it. You haven't had faith that you can have, for example, that house, that you can be happier, that you have this faith in yourself. And when I talk about faith, you can put the universe, you can put God, whatever you want on it. But the most important thing is that you have to have faith in yourself, that you believe that this is going to happen for you, that you believe that you're worthy of this. And this is the piece that I didn't fully understand. I wanted it. I was on that wave of like, yeah, I want it. I want to feel good. I want to have all these things. But I never understood why I didn't reach that level. And when I talk about levels, I'm not talking about having millions of dollars. I'm actually talking about feeling really confident and happy about who I am and where I'm going. And also knowing that's a journey and that I'm going to get there. I don't have to, for me as the person I am, I don't have to flash off and say that things I have that I don't have. That's not where I come from. And that's not who I want to be, because that would be selling you something that is not true. And oh boy, on my journey, I met so many of these mentors who were like flashing themselves out. And for many, that's their thing and they have accomplished it. But for many, it's not their things. So you're understanding that they are selling something that's not true. And it's like an instinct you get. So back to self-image. And basically believing that you can have this. So for me, this took a couple of years to believing that I could be that person, that I could be happy, that I could have that life, that was going to happen to me eventually. Because I always had this feeling within me when I set a goal, this is never going to happen. How is this going to be possible? How am I going to get all these things? It's never happened before. I see that it happens to a lot of other people, but me, no. And it was this kind of painful feeling that was just following me everywhere I went. So I had a lot of ups and downs. And it didn't seem like anyone was really talking about this, that they wanted it, but they didn't believe that they could have it. That was why their results didn't change. And it didn't take a mentor or anyone to tell me that. It only took myself to really talk to myself, be outside, be honest about where I am and what is going on and what I want, and allowing myself that I can have those things, and telling myself I can have those things, I want those things. Because the more I started opening up, the more I could see what I wanted. And I want to ask you, have you found it challenging to see what you want? Because it's almost like I can't see it because I won't get it. And I'm not saying that is exactly what happens to you, but to some of us, that's what's happening. And some of us aren't able to see pictures, so they get it in feelings instead. We have different ways, and it's right. It's like what I say with meditation. We meditate differently. We don't need to meditate for over an hour. Some people do, and they enjoy it, but some people don't need it, and they can get the same effect that they need for themselves, not the effect you've been told that you need to have to meditate the correct way. And that's where it comes in also with the self-image, how it is with meditation. You think there's a certain way you have to do it to get it right. You think there's a certain way you have to act and dress to be respected. And I want you to really think about, when I'm talking, what comes up for you. Like, who do you feel that you want to be? Because when I got into the coaching industry, I thought that I wanted to dress up and look beautiful on every coaching call. And the thing is, that wasn't me, and my budget at that time couldn't afford it because I didn't believe that I was worthy of it. But also, it wasn't me. I was copying a way I thought I had to be instead of being me, instead of expressing who I was and being happy with that. And that, my friend, is also where self-image comes in. You have to accept yourself the way you are and accept that you are good enough, and take baby steps out in the world and allow yourself to be seen. If there's a scene that you want to be standing on, if there's a speech you want to hold, if there's a company, you slowly start to build that up. Because the mistake I did in the beginning was that I thought I had to have everything together before I started. And that made me nervous. And then I started thinking about all the money that it costs to be a coach. Like, I earn money and then I have to pay tax and this and everything. And then I started thinking about, oh my God, I didn't do good in school in math. But then I started thinking, you know what? I'm going to focus on what I am good at. I'm good at helping people see that they have everything within them. I'm good at being their guide on their journey and sharing my stories so they build the belief in themselves. So I can figure out a way to get help. And then I thought about, okay, what qualities do I have? Well, in all my jobs, I've been really good at spotting talents in everyone else, like seeing what they're good at. Okay, so since I can do that, that means that I can find people who can help me on the journey. And it was scary and it was uncomfortable. Because when I started bringing in more and more money, I found a finance company who could help me pay tax and make sure that everything is correct. It was scary. I tell you, it was super scary. But it's been the best blessing to me because my talent is not there. I don't want to sit there and figure out all the numbers. because that's not where my talent is. If I need help with marketing, I find someone who can do that. But I don't hire people out of scarcity because they say you can earn 6K to work with me. I always follow my heart, and I always listen to what they're saying and what they're writing. And then I make the decision. Just like people when they want to work with me, which is so extremely important, that you make the decision, that you're like, this makes sense. I think this person can help me. I want to know more. And then you make your decision from talking to me. And this is so, so important because all our life, we're taught to read this or study this, and now it's like this, and now you have to do this. And when you become a mother or you become a father, this is the role, this is the job, this is what expected of you. So this making a decision for yourself, that's the most important thing you can do. And that's why I also say no to a lot of people, because I know that some of them I can't help. And some of them I know I can help, and I'm super excited. So do you see there's a two-way? You make a decision and I make a decision. And that's something I also had to work into my self-image, that it's okay to say no for yourself. Because all your life, like for me, I wasn't good at saying no. And the more I started saying no, the better everything got. And the stronger I got. And when I say better also, I'm talking about the confidence, the trust I gain in myself. Because before I thought like self-image and confidence was a little bit like, ooh, outside instead of it's something you feel inside. And I started feeling also more happy about the choices I made and trusting them. And knowing that they would work out. And if sometimes there was a bit low income, I knew that it would work out. And that's the beautiful place, because no one can control me, because I made a decision of how I want to think, how I want to feel. And also working on my self-image, I looked at how I wanted people to treat me and how I treated them. Because before, I was a bit insecure. I used to get jealous at coaches who got a lot of clients. I wouldn't wish them well, but when I started wishing them well, because I understood that that ego, that thinking wasn't good for me. It wasn't healthy. It didn't make me feel good in my body. It drained my energy. So when I look at different people and different coaches, I think they're great. Why? Because there's a coach for every person out there if you want a coach. And I do not own you. You are your own master. So if you meet some people that you want to own or they want to own you, check in and find out what that's about. Because when I, in the beginning of my career, wanted to own all my clients, and I was so afraid that someone would take them away from me because I was looking at all the other successful coaches, I realized that when I was growing up, I used to have a friend who used to say, okay, Ingjerd, now you're cool, now you can hang with me. And then a week or 2 weeks after, I wasn't cool. And I felt like my childhood was like that. So I was so afraid, so I held on to things. And when I tell you that many of these kind of behaviors that we don't want can show up in different areas of our life. It showed up in my relationships before, not to friends, but partners. And then it showed up through my clients where I got kind of insecure, paranoid. And my blessing was to figure out myself where it came from. And many people said, you have to journal, you have to blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I journaled, but it didn't come up before I fully said, you know what? And I'm sorry if I'm swearing now. I just said, fuck it. I am going to be Ingegerd. And that's going to be the best thing ever. And it has been the best thing ever because I don't have to prove anything. I just get to be and I get to share my journey, but always know that I am not above anyone. And that's the biggest and most important thing I learned from my mentor. He said, when you start to think that you are the one who creates all the miracles, that you are the master that they have to talk to before they do anything, that day it's over. And it's so true because I don't own this material. I have just been so grateful that I've been taught this from Bob Proctor, who didn't own it, who had his mentor, and his mentors had their mentors. So I want you to know that whatever you want to do, step into you. But if you don't manage to step into you, go out there, have a conversation, see what comes up. And the most important thing is don't be afraid. Don't have shame. I had so much shame, but just know that you are needed out there just the way you are, because there's people out there, whatever business you are in, who are going through exactly the same emotions, everything that you are going through, or maybe they're at the beginning and you can help them. And that's the key. You can help them. There's nothing wrong with them, but people just want to feel better. They want to feel free. So I thought I would share this with you because self-image is so much and it's different for each person. You can hear different things you can do, but if you don't take action and kind of become your own researcher, because you are the workbook, then nothing is going to happen. But you can get advice from guides like me. You can get help from books. Books are the greatest, gold, because there's so much information in them that opens up your mind. There's a reason we love books, stories, because we see pictures of things we can imagine and we are transported to what the writer is writing. So anyway, have a beautiful day and I see you soon.